tell us, what are we doing here today besides checking out robots?
All right, so we're looking at the Sims in the City. So you've probably heard more than you want to hear about the game at this point. But it's the reason we're here. It's a matter of we have just finished it. We're literally at a point where right now we're going to submission. We love the game. Matter, you've seen it on PS2. We have Xbox as well. Did you see the DS, the handheld stuff?
I'm going to go check that out.
So we have handheld, we have Nintendo DS and Nintendo Game Boy Advance as well. Awesome. I mean, last year,
You can't just say every system.
We have every system.
So did you work on any of the other Sims products, or is this kind of your first?
No, it's actually my first year here at Maxis. So I actually started last September just to start this one off.
Cool. Were you a fan of the Sims? Did you
Absolutely.
used to play it?
Yeah, definitely. So actually, SimCity was one of the first things I ever played that got me into Maxis and the whole EA thing. And then Sims, and then it's just a natural progression to come work on them at some point.
So why do you think the Urbz, like why take it in that direction?
It's a matter of we've been everywhere else, right? We started as a suburban parody. We've been out there living at mom's house and living in your own house in the grass yards and everything else. We needed something different. We needed something that was more that 20-something fantasy on your own for the first time, someplace you'd never been before, which is naturally the city. You know, having subways, having Diamond Heights, we're up on the rooftops. Nobody's ever seen stuff like that, so we wanted a completely new environment.
Now, traditionally, I mean, we've had Sims on the consoles, obviously.
Sure.
What are some of like the major things that have changed in the Urbz that you guys have focused on for the console?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the biggest thing for the Urbz right now, besides the environment itself, is actually the way the game is structured. It's not just a lot of people living in one place. They actually have specific cultures. The game is all about reputation. This is an entire new game mechanic called the rep system, where you start off as a nobody and you want to become famous. You want to become basically the king or the queen of the city. And so to do that, it's this whole new game of going and making friends or enemies, because you can play good or bad. You can actually make everybody an enemy or everybody a friend and try and become the most famous person there. So it's an entire new game system that drives everything.
I just want like a separate Sim fashion diva, and I know Ryan does too.
I'm sure he does, actually.
Yeah. He was like all about the clothing.
Yeah, the clothing is actually great. That's one of the things we added into the game. I think we showed it earlier to you. But the clothing costs money now. Something that the other Sims games doesn't have. And it's not just for looks. It's actually for affecting how well the game plays, how well you're liked in the game. It all matters now.
So what can you buy and spend money on? And
yeah, you have everything. We still have what's called build buy mode. You can customize anything in the world. You have apartment to unlock. Yes, you can go buy objects for your apartments, from couches and furniture to skill objects. So you can actually get physical skills and creative skills that help you throughout the game. Plus, you have all the clothing stuff you can buy, shoes, hats, piercings, and tattoos are brand new. So you can actually really deck out your Urb and make it look very much like the particular culture you want to be in. It's very slick.
Now, we were playing a level that had the Black Eyed Peas.
Cosmo Street, yeah.
Cosmo Street. And they actually have music.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Black Eyed Peas did 9 custom tracks for the Urbz. And they're actually characters in the game. So I don't know if you got to see them or not, but they actually have 5 characters. They run that district. So you actually work for will.i.am at his libation station, or you can dance and sing with Fergie on the stage, or you can actually go work with Taboo or Apple the App or any other characters there. And so they're actually in the game, and they've seen themselves and they love it. And they're fantastic to work with. We actually got to go to England for the recording session, got to go to one of the LA studios as well. I mean, these guys, they've seen it all and they love it.
So what did you do with the music to make it Sim music, though? Did they sing it like that?
Absolutely. There's a custom language called Simlish that we've actually had in The Sims since it began. It's not real English, of course. It's their own version of Simlish. Turns out will.i.am, whenever he records his songs, when he first writes them, he does a thing called mumbles. He actually records them and just uses beats and nouns and sounds without actual words in them to try and record them almost exactly like Simlish. So he was a natural doing this for us, of re-recording some songs and making new songs for us just in Simlish.
Now, could you learn Simlish and speak it?
That's actually debatable. We actually have an entire dictionary of what we think all the Simlish words are, and then we hear something, we're like, ooh, we didn't have that one. We don't know our own words at this point. So
can you say something?
No, sorry.
Come on.
Shmoo. It's actually a Simlish word, believe it or not.
What did that mean?
That's actually from Celebrity Heights. That's when the celebrity characters like to want to shmoo, like greet each other as a kind of hi kind of thing.
Shmoo.
Exactly. So it's very nice for the vanity crowd.
So what are some of the other districts? I just saw Cosmo Street and the Rave District.
Sure, yeah, right Neon East. So Diamond Heights is kind of the one above the city. The celebrities, very gold, very shmoo, golden. And Central Station is one of our favorites. Actually, it's downtown underground. It's actually the subway. It's a beat-up subway station. There's only one track that still works. The punks live down there. So Gasoline Rose, where the bikers hang out. It's a very simple name, right? That's all the guys dressed in leather. They have a motorcycle chop shop that you can go to. You saw Neon East where they have the sushi game and the ravers, right? Kicktail Park's kind of the skater district where you have a half pipe where you can do ramps and jumps and skates. Kicktail Park. What's wrong with that? Come on, it's the Urbz. It's a Maxis game. That's a good name. You're making fun of the name of our game.
No, I like it. Really. The game has the concept of socials.
Yes. So everything you do in the game is about socializing. All the characters, the way they interact with each other are called socials. They're basically moves you use on each other. Everything from a hug or a kiss all the way to a body bonk or a headbutt. Each culture, having the 9 districts in the city, having 9 different cultures, each of them have custom moves. Some of them prefer certain types of moves over others. Some of them will just outright reject you if you try and use the wrong moves on them. So that's how you interact. That's how you build reputation.
So like in real life.
Exactly like in real life. The punks like spit tricks. The celebrities don't like spit tricks. The celebrities like something more like a photo shoot. So everybody has a certain kind of personalities, and their socials are all bent towards those personalities.
I like the part where you get to play air guitar.
Air guitar is awesome. Yeah, we actually have 5 different moves like that. They're all based on music, all tied to Cosmo Street. They're all air guitar. We have a singing one. We have a pub song. They're all specifically towards the whole music group. So we try and give a theme and a flavor to each district like that.
So what are some of the differences like playing it on the DS?
Yeah, the DS is definitely direct control. Same with Game Boy Advance. So you still have in our game, you can go and find what you want to drive. You click on it, and then you go interact with it. The Nintendo DS handheld and the Nintendo GBA are both direct control. So you're actually driving the character around. They actually have vehicles as well. So you can actually jump in a hoverboat on the GBA, and you can actually drive around on kind of the bayou. They're all set in the urbz world, but they have slightly different spins on the world, slightly different takes and some other mini games like we do.
And then for PS2, you have iToy, so you can actually plaster your own face like all over the...
Exactly. So the whole reputation game comes back to characters who wear T-shirts with your face on it, or you have these big billboards with the different ads and logos of companies on it, and your face next to it. If you actually have an iToy, you can put your face in the game on the PS2.
How many hours do you think people are going to spend like playing this game?
It's an amazing amount of effort. We actually looked at ourselves, and we know the game. It's taking us 16 or 17 hours to try and finish it after we played it 4 or 5 times.
Wow.
So we know how to finish everything. It's taking us forever. So we're looking at 40+ hours for people to play this thing.
You must have heard some stories about people who played The Sims that are just like Simholics.
Absolutely. We actually met a lot of them. It's one of the things we do is go and find these guys in a user group online, or actually have them come into focus groups and ask them, what do you want? What do you want to see in a game like this? What did you like the last one? What do you like about The Sims on PC versus on console? So we listened to all that kind of feedback. The last focus group we did, we invited hardcore guys who were just Madden players, who were just Medal of Honor players, and half of those guys looked at us kind of like, yeah, I'd play this. Half of them had already said, I played Bustin' Out, but I don't tell my friends. Like, come on, what are you talking about? But it's a matter of, they look at this one, they're like, downtown, city life, I got my tats on, I got my piercings. They actually look at something they'd play. It's coming out early November.
For everything.
For all consoles. That's a launch title on the Nintendo DS.